Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. In this video, I will try to summarize my very first week experience as an international student in the UK. So I'll be letting you know that what was my very first reaction, how was my very first day. Then moving on, I'll be explaining that what are the important things which you must do in the very first week itself. That will involve your bank account, BRPI, national insurance number, and there will be a lot of things which we'll be talking about. And secondly, there will be some golden tips and tricks as well in this video. So make sure that you consistently watch this video out. Without any further ado, let's straight away get started with this video. So first of all, I will try to briefly summarize my very first reaction or my very first day spent. So I boarded my plane from New Delhi. So essentially when I was on the Delhi airport, so there were my parents who left me on the airport itself. So I wasn't like too much emotional over there. It was completely alright. I was busy in my, the luggage thing. I was worried about my baggages. Like I have to make sure that I'm like boarding the plane in the right manner. So I was busy in all that haphazard which was going on the airport itself. So when I landed in the Glasgow, now there was like I had booked my own taxi. Now here's a golden tip for you, that always make sure that from your own country book a airport like to your accommodation, like book a taxi for yourself. And here another resource which I would mention is the university living, as they provide you airport pickups. So make sure that you use university living. So essentially now I took my taxi from the airport itself, and during that journey from the airport, the Glasgow airport, to my accommodation, that was pretty much crazy. That was a very weird feeling which I had. So I was feeling like I've left everything in India now, so I'm all alone over here and I have to start everything from the starting onwards. I have to start everything from the scratch, and I was like feeling kind of sense of responsibility when I was traveling on that taxi. Moreover, like I was seeing that big buildings on the way itself, which I have never seen in the India. So it was a very kind of a weird feeling as well. Then moreover, there was like very cleanliness all around. The car was like running smoothly over there instead of that horse in the India. So it was a very kind of a transitionary phase which I was going through when I was in the taxi itself. But as the moment I landed in the accommodation, everything went fine because I was living in the Ensuite. So basically in the Ensuite, it is kind of a shared accommodation. So I was having my 6 of friends over there already. So then essentially I went to the accommodation. So they were waiting for me. Then I just came into the accommodation. I just started putting everything in my cupboard itself. So essentially but only that kind of phase when I was in the taxi was the thing when I was feeling bit of transitory phase which I had. But when I was in the accommodation, everything was pretty much fine. Now basically the students who were living in the accommodation, they weren't like my pre-friends, so I didn't knew any one of them at all. But they knew that like Jashandeep, the name was here, that he's coming over here. But I had one of my another friend. He was we were living in the same locality which I already knew from the India. Now here is again a golden tip for you guys. Now for example, in my case, my university was University of Strathclyde, and in your own home country, in my case India, they will be hosting a lot of events. For example, I applied in September intake, so they will be hosting events maybe in June, July, like all of this month. So there will be very important events which will be going on. So basically I went to one of the events. So it was in Delhi. So usually these events are in hotels. So I went over there. I took the extra steps. So basically I live somewhere around Chandigarh itself. So we went to Delhi, and there was this guy like who I know. So he's called Devi itself. So he came to that hotel as well, right? And that's how I kind of made a connection with him. Then we connected on WhatsApp groups, and we tried to book like the same flat as well, but we couldn't get the same flat unfortunately. But I was having that connection already made. And this is an important tip, that make sure that you connect with someone who is going to same university where you're in your home country. In my case, it was through that hotel, through that university event. In your case, it could be through my YouTube channel. Make sure to comment your university name below. Make your connections over here. Facebook groups are the another option. So the golden tip is that make sure that you connect with someone who is going to the same university in your home country itself. So the very first day, so when I landed over there, in the initial like 1 or 2 hours, I was putting everything in the cupboard itself. I'm never tired, so I was just putting the things in my cupboard. And then I called my friend. So he had already arrived. Devi had already arrived. So I called him over here. Well, come to my room. And then basically we went outside. We looked for grocery stores. Now it's an important tip over here. Now when you land over here, you aren't familiar about the nearby shops. You don't know where are the grocery stores. You don't know where is the city center, where is the bus station, where is the train station. So maybe in the initial 1 or 2 days, because in the very first day some people are tired, but I'm never tired. So in the very first day, I just have got that Google Map. Google Map is very important application. Make sure you have got that application downloaded from your own home country. So we put out that where is Sainsbury, where is this Marks and Spencer. These are the names of grocery store. and we just basically try to explore the nearby city. So where are all of these essential things? Now basically this was how my very first day completed in the UK itself. Now the important tip over here is that for your accommodation, make sure that you have booked from your own home country, otherwise you'll be really struggling in the initial few days itself. Now here again I'll be suggesting you university living. Their link will be in the description below. So essentially when you go to the link which is mentioned in the description below, once you click that link, you can put your name of your university. Maybe you can also put the name of the location where you're going. So for example, University of Strathclyde is in Glasgow. You can either put University of Strathclyde, either you can put Glasgow. So once you click that search button over there, then it will give you options of all of these accommodations which are available over there. Now select, depending upon your budget, select an accommodation which you would like to book. They've got very good offers as well which are advertised on the university living. So the important tip over here is that make sure that your accommodation is already booked from your own home country so that you don't struggle with it. Now moving on to the second phase of this university, the second segment, and here I want to let you know about some of the things which I did in the very first week itself. Now the very first important thing which I did was collection of my BRP. Now in terms of your BRP, you will be getting a letter from UKVI when you're in your own home country itself, and they will be putting out where you can collect your BRP. In my case, it was at my own university, but in few of the cases, they will be mentioning the address of the local post office in your university area itself. So in my case, it was for my university. Essentially, I went to my university, there was a long queue. So there were many international students who joined this university at that time in the September intake. And essentially, the very first thing is collection of your BRP. In the BRP, it will mention that how many hours can you work. So basically, it will be 20 hours. What is your date of birth? All that generic information will be there in the BRP. And that's called Biometric Residence Permit itself, and very important document. So very first thing is collection of your BRP. Now moving on to the second thing is apply for national insurance number or NIN. Now what is national insurance number is something this will allow you to work somewhere. Now you've got that document which says that you have got maximum limit of 20 hours, but you can't work just based upon your BRP. So you have to get this national insurance number or the tax number itself. Now how do you get this tax number? Now basically there is one, once you go to the Google, just type NIN phone number itself. So on the Google page itself, there will be very first phone number. Maybe I'll try my best to mention that in the description box below. So once you click that number, so you'll just give them a ring itself, and in my case it took me 1 hour, so I waited for 1 hour on the ring itself because it's a very long queue. So just be aware about that, it takes a lot of time. So in my case it took me about 1 hour to have a conversation with them. So they will be asking about some of the generic information, maybe what's your passport number, what's your accommodation, maybe what's your BRP number. So this will be the information which they will be asking you, and once the conversation is ended, they will be giving you national insurance reference number. Now once you get that reference number, and on second thing which they will be informing you on the call is that you have to come to one specific location, and then there will be basically be your short interview, very generic interview, very short interview will be you will be having the short interview as well. So essentially you'll be getting your reference number, and now you will be having one of the slot which will be booked for your face-to-face interview, as in my case. So essentially maybe in my case it was after 1 month after that call, because it was very busy period during that time. And essentially I went to their center itself with the reference number, showed them this is a reference number, this is an interview. They asked me some questions and basically got my national insurance number created. And now the important tip over here is that once you've got the reference number, you can still work. So whenever you're applying for any company, you can say them, I've got the reference number. I don't have the actual NIN number, but I've got the reference number. So most of the companies will be accepting your reference number. So you don't have to wait for that 1 month, just thinking about that, your 1 month wages will be lost, right? You can straight away apply for the countries. Don't worry, you've got that reference number itself. Now moving on to the very third thing over here is your NHS registration. So when you're in your home country itself, you'll be paying for your health surcharge, and basically in your local area around the university, there will be one of the center for registering your national health surcharge number itself. So basically you'll be going to that hospital itself. I think there will be few documents. Again, you have to fill the documents. I think it will be literally about 30 minutes or something like that for that process to be happening. Essentially go to the hospital, and there will be time slot which you will be booking, and then essentially sign the documents, and you will be getting your NHS number ready itself. And the other thing which I did in the very first week was creation of my bank account. And for bank account, essentially I went to Bank of Scotland, which I had my account. There are plenty of banks. It is called HSBC, Bank of Scotland, There are plenty of other banks available as well. Now, if you want me to make a separate video on bank accounts itself, make sure that you comment it below. So all in all, this was my very first week experience as an international student in the UK, and this is the video which I'll be recommending you to watch next. And also make sure to hit the like and subscribe the channel, because I make all such content related to UK student life. I've already made plenty of the videos which you can check back onto my channel itself, so make sure that you have subscribed the channel. And thanks for your time in watching this video. See you in the next video itself.